Welcome to Just Add Water, a continuing strand here at Oceanology International. And Just Add Water aims to bring you the latest news and views from the exhibition, from the show floor, from some of the speakers we have at the conference, and of course, some of our exhibitors as well. And today we have the pleasure of talking to Cathx Ocean, and we're speaking to Adam McConnell, Head of Product Marketing. Adam, good morning there.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Adam, where are you in the world at the moment?
I'm at home in Dublin at the moment. We're just with COVID, everybody's still out of the office. We're just now in the process of getting everybody back into our headquarters at the moment. So some of the our production teams and our operations and engineering teams are all back in the office now. But for people that don't need to be there, we still have the option to work from home.
Yeah, well, as you can see, I am at Oceanology International, all on my own at the moment. But of course, come March 2022, those aisles will be filled with happy and contented visitors, attendees, meeting face to face for the first time in 2022. Personally, I can't wait. Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself and Cathx Ocean? Where did it start?
Well, Cathx Ocean are a leading innovator in subsea imaging and measurement. Our aim's really, really simple. It's basically to make subsea operations more efficient, more cost-effective and safer. We started in 2019 in Kildare in Ireland, manufacturing cameras and lights for divers. But we started to specialize in subsea optical imaging for machine vision and automation in 2015, and that's kind of where we've been since. And we're, moving down the road towards, making subsea inspections that bit safer, that bit more cost effective, and moving it towards where maybe we don't even need people on the boats at all. It can all be done automatically and autonomously.
Autonomously, yeah. Okay. Big area that, isn't it? The autonomous market, reducing risk of and actually reducing wastage as well, because time spent repairing things is time not working, or people not being as efficient, or we've had this COVID thing going on. So this is where it really comes in, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, the more people you need to have in a boat, the greater the risk is that if you get bad weather and something happens to the boat, there's more risk to life, and there's more risk to resources that are too valuable to lose from any situation. And that's kind of been the ethos that Cathx Ocean have been following since we started to move into the automation and the subsea imaging and measurement field.
Sure. So, Adam, we have a segment of our attendees who are into defence. Can you tell me how Cathx Ocean helps defence industries?
Well, our visual perception systems help them to detect contraband and mines and the likes under the sea in quick time. So our systems allow ROVs and AUVs to travel up to 5 knots and still capture ultra high definition 2D images with no motion blur on them whatsoever. Okay. So it allows them, when they're checking back and making sure that they're doing it, and all of our images have the navigational data tied into them, so they'll be able to tell exactly where they found an object that might be dangerous. Or dumped in the ocean.
Sure. And the data that comes back from those vehicles, those platforms, how's that transmitted back? Is it via satellite, or is it via hardwire, or?
No, it's stored onto a drive on the actual system itself. We then bring the system back for pre-processing to Cathx Ocean, and then we deliver them a project pack where they can then take that project pack, put it into any integrity management software, and use it to inspect the images, the laser data, we can generate color point cloud data as well from our system. So it allows them to manipulate a 3D model and then click on a part of the 3D model and actually see ultra high definition images to make sure that they can see what they want to see.
Right. Okay. And then just moving on from that, who are your clients? Are they governments? Are they oil and gas companies?
Since 2015, we've worked with all of the big oil and gas companies around the world in the Gulf of Mexico, Western Australia, and in the North Sea. It's the likes of BP and Chevron. We work with subsea operators like DOF, Oceaneering, Deep Ocean, Ocean Infinity, and the likes. And as we've mentioned, we've worked with the Norwegian, Irish, and US navies in helping them sort of search for contraband and unexploded munitions in the waters of their coastlines.
Okay.
But now we're actually, sorry, Mike, but now we're actually seeing that we're starting to work with more research institutes and more of the marine environmental industries to help them sort of be able to map year on year how by reducing the amount of activity man has in the water, humankind has in the water, how that is actually affecting the replenishment of our oceans,
right,
and making it better, so they can count, so they can count species and see the change in coral coming back to underwater environments and ecologies.
So it's all about watching the ecosystems. I mean, that's interesting because the Paris Accord is saying that we're allowed 1.5% increase in ocean in the climate change, aren't we? It looks like we're going to surpass that by some significant amount. But Cathx Blue is part of the solution, helping the researchers to find out what the real impacts are now,
Exactly,
and what can be done to reduce those impacts.
But even what will happen to the likes of, if you have pipelines that have been exhausted, what's the effect of is taking away the metal better or leaving the metal there better for actually enhancing the replenishment of the ocean and helping to see if like the metal will grow new life on it and help make new and healthier environments for sea life and the environment under the water.
Kind of like artificial reefs. They use that sort of technology, don't they? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. Okay, so I know you've only been with Cathx for a short while, but thinking about the next 5 years, what are those challenges that the Cathx are addressing?
Well, it's really moving towards, like we said, reducing the risk and reducing the amount of people on the water, reducing the amount of the cost of doing these cost prohibitive expeditions. Oil and gas companies have a requirement to make sure to maintain their assets, and therefore they have to spend this money to, one, inspect them, and then two, perform any maintenance on these assets under the water. So it is, and every time you have to do that, that's people out in the water. That's a big ship out in the water expelling carbon emissions. Costs of putting a ship on the water can reach up to 100 grand a day, and sometimes these missions can last up to 30 days. So that's a massive spend that anybody's doing. And if we can reduce that cost, if we can reduce that amount of carbon being put out into the earth, and we can reduce the risk to human life, then I think we're doing something good. And it allows also the oil and gas industry and the defense industry to show how by even having those assets there, how it's actually helping to benefit the sea life under the water. But again, the core mission is to move towards autonomous and uncrewed survey expeditions. For that reason, to just lower the risk, lower the cost, and make it more efficient to set out on these expeditions.
Yeah, sure. I understand that entirely. So just thinking about oil and gas and projects that you're working on, And again, I understand you've been with Cathx for a short period of time. Are there any sectors that you're seeing growth in? For example, we've spoken about climate change. Is that a sector that's going up? And is oil and gas reducing, or are you seeing any trends at all?
Well, again, it's all, everybody's leading towards automation, so it's all leading towards the same thing. People want to be able to see their assets, whether it's a pipeline or whether it's a structure or whether it's a wind farm pylon or whether it's they need to be able to inspect and maintain them. And the best way to do that is to have high quality imagery of it without having to send somebody down. And being able to what we can do now, which is generate 3D meshes and point clouds, so they can actually manipulate a 3D model when they're back in their office, and do a full 3D look around as if they're there in the ocean floor themselves or down in the ocean and going for a dive, but with 99% less risk.
Right. Yeah.
To it, that they can do it, and it allows them to make informed decision making with regards to their maintenance plans for these assets. And again, it also allows the likes of the research industries the ability to contrast, compare year on year what they're doing, or what's happening in their specific area, if that's their application. And then for the likes of the mining industry, like being able to quickly identify nodes and nodules that they can then start to survey the areas where they kind of could then send expeditions to start mining. And then of course for subsea cabling, the surveying prelay, and then real time sort of looking at the laying of their cables, and then the maintenance of those cables, with time going on, from the damage from like anchors being dropped, or rocks falling from above, stuff being dropped on top of them, and even just the general movement of the currents under the ocean as well.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So let's talk about OI for a moment, if we could. As an exhibitor, what are Cathx Ocean's primary objectives for attending?
Well, there are two main objectives. One is to show off what we've got in our services pipeline coming up. Services like Cathx FDI, which we've just launched now in August, which basically is allowing our customers to conduct their surveys up to 6 times faster. So reducing a survey, like we were talking about before, from 30 days down to something like 6 days.
Yeah.
And meaning that they can get their assets and the data deliverables back just as quick. So we're shortening the length of time it takes to do a survey from beginning to end.
Sure. Okay.
We're also looking to probably launch our own integrity management software platform, CX Observer, and also a new microservices platform called CX Insights, which is going to be a massive leap towards automation for all of our customers.
Right. So a launch heading Oceanology International's way as well from Cathx.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. If we have them already by then, it'll be great. If not, it'll at least be a pre-launch that'll basically start to show where we're getting to.
Okay. Well, I look forward to that hugely. So, objectives for attending, obviously networking is going to be important for you.
Oh, absolutely. It's a massive opportunity for us to connect and start to strengthen our relationships again with our customers and our clients and our partners. And the ability then to even start to grow our network again by seeing people and being able to do face-to-face meetings and potentially win new business.
Sure.
Also, it's a great chance to show off the long hours of work and toil that our engineering and operations teams have been doing to get these products and services up and running, from a hugely talented team here in Ireland, to a massive audience. So it's an opportunity we don't want to miss.
And who do you want to meet at the show? Are they engineers? Are they construction managers? Are they who are they?
both. It's kind of the engineers are the guys. I think the engineers are the guys that will sell the system to the decision makers in the companies. Because if you think about it, these are the guys that are requesting what they need. They're the guys on the ground floor, going, if we just had this system that could help us out, it'd be great. And they put that request up through their business processes, and it comes to their decision makers. And we're looking, when we meet with those, we're looking to make sure that we're giving them exactly what their engineers are looking for, which is basically good imaging, a good system that can be configured quickly, put into the water quickly, does the job quickly, and the data they get off gets back to them quickly.
Yeah, speed and efficiency.
Speed and efficiency, but with the best visual data that they can get back, so they can make an informed decision.
And registration opens on November the 2nd for the show. And once again, Adam, thank you so much for giving up some of your time today to talk about it.